What are you doing? Anyway, what's going on, guys? This is Predictions R Us. My name's Gavin.
My name's Rod Campbell.
My dad. Anyway, let's jump into it. NFL. I don't even really want to talk about it because they've been such a disappointment. But let's talk about the Bears. Okay, they lost to the Chargers, missed the game-winning kick. You know all about it. I know you watched it too. So, but 17-16 final score. They fall to 3-4. What were your initial thoughts there? I know you had a couple things to say about Mitch.
My thoughts. He had two drives before the final drive to actually do something, and they get in within field goal range, and he takes a sack. You never take a sack. Never take a sack when your game's on the line.
We'll see, and that's something that I've noticed that has regressed. Because we saw that a lot in his rookie year when he came in. I think it was week 5, okay? And we wanted to see improvement his sophomore year. He blew everybody away, threw for over 3,000 yards. Completion percentage was close to 70%, okay? This year, we see him making those same rookie mistakes. Like, he's taking a step back. This is something that I really don't understand. I don't know if it's been, something that happened in the offseason, or I know you were talking about his shoulder.
Hurt his shoulder. He's just being a baby. Suck it up, Mitch.
Like, it's been a couple weeks, and you'd think that if you're ready, you come back. I don't think Coach Nagy would rush him back if he wasn't ready. Chase Daniel was doing fine.
Johnny Unitas, he ain't.
No, he's not.
But he needs to suck it up and be there for his team. Their offensive line was dismal at best.
Yeah.
And, junior football, you don't wrap around the pads.
No.
How many calls were like that Sunday?
Well, and not just that game though. I mean, we've seen it. But we've seen it in how many games this season? How many complaints have we seen about the refs this season?
A lot.
And not just that game. But let me go ahead and get back to Mitch. Okay, he was 23 of 35 for 253 yards and 1 interception. That right there. Okay, you would see the numbers, 23 of 35. That's pretty pedestrian numbers, but 1 interception, no touchdowns, and you lose the game on a game-winning kick, which really wasn't his fault if we're being honest, but we'll get to Pinheiro in a second. If we go back, like I was saying, his statistics from last year and his rookie year, his completion percentage is down from last year. His yards per attempt is way down to 5.4 per attempt. You're going to tell me that you're a quarterback in the NFL and you're attempting 5 yards per pass play.
Hey, he's good. That's good. That's better than -2.
I can't get over that because Nagy's calling all of these, these screen passes, these wide receiver bubble screens, and slant routes and stuff. I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Hey, Bears are hurting. I'm sorry, but they're hurting.
I'm just saying.
They got a bad offensive line. They got a quarterback that ain't playing up to his potential. The running backs aren't bad.
No, and
the offensive line stinks.
That's what I want to get to. David Montgomery, rookie out of Iowa State, 27 carries, and I know that you like yards per carry because if you can get 3.5 every time, that's going to be a first down.
Yep.
So 27 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Break that down. That's just over 4 yards a carry. You're going to get that every single time.
I'll take that.
Why would you stop handing the ball off to a rookie running back that's not only harder to take down, he broke the most tackles in all of college football last year. Why do you stop giving him the football?
Your linemen are tired and old. They're tired. They're grabbing. Okay, when your running back goes through, and then he's got to come back 10 yards because there's a holding penalty, yeah, there's trouble.
It just seems ridiculous to me. You got all these issues, and what do you do? What do you do when you ain't getting it done in the air? What do? You pound the football.
You do like the Bears do, punt.
Well, wow.
There's the draft. What do you want me to tell you? It's their season is just about finite. But they got a chance to pull it out, but they're going to have to suck it up. The linemen are going to have to block, and he's going to have to get rolling with the passing, yards per pass, options, better play calling. But those last 3 drives were, he did it with his feet, not throwing, not options. He did it with he just got lucky and got a lucky run out of it. And the guy still, the kicking thing is just blows my mind.
Really missing Robbie Gould.
Oh, Robbie Gould.
I have missed him for a long time.
Bears owners, you should have paid him.
Hey.
You should have paid him.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said back in the day. You have a kicker that's been, 10 years with the team, consistently at 40 yards, within 40 yards, he's automatic. He's like over 95%. Why do you cut a guy like that? You give him his $6-7 million and you keep him on the team. And then you know what happened earlier this season? They were holding tryouts for pretty much anyone to walk in off the street and say, "Hey, can you kick a football? Go ahead, hop on the field."
I wish I could have made it. I could have probably made one better than this guy they've got now, Pinero.
And here's the thing: nothing against Eddie. I like Eddie. He's a great guy. He's a young kid. I think he's got a lot of potential. But to fill the shoes of the Chicago kicker, especially after Parkey last year, is something you don't want to do.
Are they related? They kick the same.
I wouldn't put it past them. Okay, let's go ahead.
Onward from the Bears.
Go ahead and move on here. Hopefully they pick it up at some point. But let's go ahead and transition to basketball here. Let's talk about the NBA. I know that you watched a lot of NBA back in your days, old man. But let's get down to it. The Lakers, the new look Lakers. The Lake Show.
The crybaby Laker?
The crybaby Lakers.
LeBron crybaby?
We're talking about a guy that grew up with Showtime, Magic, James Worthy, Kareem, all those guys on the team. Wasn't too excited about new Showtime.
No.
So we're going to go ahead and try to get through this without too many complaints. But they're 2-1 so far on the season. LeBron has struggled a little bit. I think he's looked a little more like himself, especially after last night against the Hornets. But Anthony Davis, wow, the brow. He's been something
very else. I've always liked Anthony Davis. But he's going to be in the shadows of LeBron to me. I mean, they've been playing fairly well so far, but the Clippers showed him a thing or two already this season.
Yeah, we saw that opening night. They really took it to him, and this is without Paul George. The Clippers are playing without Paul George.
And and the Lakers have enough talent that it's with just those two players alone. I mean, they should be just walking all over teams that don't have the talent. They should be just scoring 130 points a game, but it's like that's why I say my 80s teams are better than the teams today. They can push around inside. You got these players today could not match the teams in the 80s as far as how they called the games, and it's the officials that are calling the games, and the league just sets the rules for that. So, but it was rough. It was rough back in the 80s, early 90s. They just pounded each other inside. So you had to be ready.
Well, and that's the thing. I think we've seen the Lakers go to Davis on post-ups a lot more than he did in New Orleans. We know that he liked to play the power forward more so. This time I think he's playing more at the center position. They're giving him those touches in the post, and he's shooting well over 60% right now.
If LeBron was out, he'd definitely be in a power forward position, not bringing the ball up, not off guard, or just being able to play wherever he wants. He's got so many years in now, and he's slowing down a bit like everybody does, but he'd do pretty good in the post.
Father Time's undefeated.
Well,
but
he's a crybaby.
That's the one thing that we saw last night is I think in the first half we saw him try to be point guard LeBron like they said they were going to come in the season to do, and he ended up getting 10 assists, but he went I think 2 of 8 from the floor with 4 turnovers. That's not what you want from a player that's of his caliber. You want him to be able to contribute more to the team, especially offensively. But
that's just old age creeping up on you, especially in the basketball world.
Absolutely.
Game to game, he's going to have one good game, and then the next game he's going to be sore, and the game may not go as well. That's why I think he'd do better where he's not exerting so much energy and just playing in the post, taking less minutes. Let some of these other guys, as long as they're playing as a cohesive unit, let these younger guys, start to make their mark. So.
And we saw that they just traded away their young guys to the New Orleans Pelicans for Anthony Davis.
Way to go, Lakers!
So let's go ahead and transition to that. The Pelicans, they're 0-3 so far this season, but I think that
it's early.
I think that they're starting to come into their own. I really like their rookies, especially Brandon Ingram has come out, and I think he's averaging over 30 points a game right now. So the Lakers are missing out on that offense. I don't know what it is about LeBron and not being able to wait on young talent or work with young talent, so to speak, because we see, like I said, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, all the guys that were in that Anthony Davis trade have all been positive contributions to the Pelicans, although their record hasn't shown it. We've seen it on the court. So it's just really interesting.
Give them time. They'll play together as a cohesive unit.
Really interesting.
And they'll get it together. They're already showing signs of being good. So 3 or 4 games in the season, I can see them putting together a win streak. So
Yeah, they definitely could. I think at this point they're really missing their rookie Zion Williamson. I think that he's the missing piece for their energy. I think that Drew Holiday hasn't done enough. Not that he's not a great player; he's a former All-Star, but that was 6 years ago. He just made All-Defensive Team a couple years ago as well. But I really think that they're missing that spark plug to get everybody going because the core that was sent over, I think that they're all pretty passive. I mean, we know Lonzo Ball is pretty quiet, especially compared to his dad. And we won't talk about LeVar right now. That's a story for a different day.
the balls.
Yeah, the balls.
Sheesh.
The balls.
Squish them. Just squish them.
Okay.
I don't care for any. I'm just going to give my opinion. I don't care for any of them.
Yeah.
So, bad mark on the NBA. Just, either go over to Europe or, do something else.
Well, I think they tried Lithuania, but
Yeah.
we saw that didn't happen or didn't work out,
Yeah.
I should say.
There's pickup games all over.
Anyway,
Just not the NBA.
let's go ahead and go back to the other LA
D-League.
the other LA team, the LA Clippers, which I know that you're familiar with a few faces there. Kawhi Leonard, I think, is really asserting himself as a playmaker, which is
Kawhi.
something that
Kawhi.
a lot of people knocked him for not being able to do because we saw it in the playoffs to the Raptors championship run that he wasn't really the go-to guy. Kyle Lowry took over a lot of those duties, but we see now him coming into the season, he's averaging 7 assists a game, which is a career high to start a season for him. He also just broke his career high last night with 10 assists. I had no idea, actually, that was his career high 10.
He's a very versatile player. That's, defense, offense, assists, three-pointers. Name somebody better in the league right now than Kawhi Leonard.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of people are comparing Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James, but I don't think that you can do that now. I think that if you were going to compare LeBron 3 or 4 years ago, you might have an argument, but I think that it's definitively Kawhi Leonard that is the best player in basketball at this point.
I would have took Kawhi 5 years ago or 8 years. LeBron is just not a guy that I root for. He's full of LeBron.
I mean, we know he's a selfish guy, but I think just from a basketball talent perspective.
He's got talent, but it takes more than just having raw talent. I mean, yes, he took Cleveland in, and yes, he got a championship.
Well, let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like he did not have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love
he had
on those teams.
Kevin love him as a player. Love him as a player, but it's yes, LeBron has talent. No, I wouldn't put him on my team.
And what's funny is I think there's a lot of people that have that same mentality of he's a great player, but I don't want him. I don't want the publicity that comes along with that. And
here's the thing: can you win with LeBron? Yes. Can you have a nice cohesive unit, 5-man, 7-man team? It's really hard with him. I mean, it isn't like Tim Duncan who did it from how many years did they go to the playoffs 19 years in a row or whatever it was, 20 years in a row, and it's because that guy can take any 4 other guys and play basketball with him because he's that type of a person and a player.
I think a lot of that people would say is a testament to Coach Popovich.
Popovich, great coach, and but they took players that people didn't hear too much about or weren't in the papers or didn't have a lot of college hoorah, and those guys played well together. I mean, they pulled people in from other teams that didn't do so well, got traded, and then all of a sudden they shine as part of the Spurs unit. So, that's a testament to him. Yeah.
2 of the biggest foreign players of all time, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili.
Yep.
From France and Argentina, respectively, brought those guys in, and they're going to end up being Hall of Famers with 3 and 4 rings.
One of my favorite players, Ginobili.
Ginobili.
Awesome player. Awesome player.
We'll go ahead and get to our NFL and NBA predictions at the end of this segment. We're going to go ahead and jump into some Federal Hockey League action. For anyone that doesn't know, Single A Division Hockey. Our local team, the Danville Dashers, starting off season 2-0 for the first time, and gosh, it feels like forever. But this is good news for them because there was 4 expansion teams that were put into the league this year, making the total 12, which is awesome because that means more hockey, and they finally split it into 2 divisions so that I think it might be a little easier to get in the playoffs, especially with the group of guys that we have this year. But starting off 2-0, they faced Battle Creek over the weekend. Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. I can't remember. It's Monday now. but I think the first game was 7-1, and then they won 6-3. So the offense,
Awesome.
the goals are coming. I mean, 13 apiece. They're averaging 6.5 a game, which is a ridiculous amount.
A lot better this year
And
than last year.
Their goalie save percentage is still over 90%. I think that this is obviously looking up, especially last year. I mean, we went to how many games, and how many games did we get shut out? So
yeah, there was quite a few times. Our offense was stagnant at times, and this year it sounds like they're ready to rumble here. And they are. It's an awesome thing to go see. Great fans, great players. It's the environment over in Danville is just super.
It really is.
We have a ball. Everybody there is having a ball. I mean,
if you're in the central Illinois area or even across the Indiana line, if you're in western Indiana, I would highly suggest just hopping over. It's not too far away. We drive maybe 40 minutes, if that.
40 minutes,
Yeah.
$10. $10. Make the drive.
$9 if you're a student. Bring your
Right.
ID.
$10. You can't have more fun on $10. I mean, it is just awesome. I mean, the crowd's into it. The players get into it. We have a ball. Everybody there is having a ball.
And you can't compare it to a professional hockey game. Obviously, those are some of the most skilled athletes in the world. But these guys are professionals. I mean, it's single A, but these are professional athletes. And just being able to go there and just get a taste of, especially if you've never been to professional hockey before, this is one of those things that you can go to, and as soon as you get a little bit of it, it makes you want to come back and get more. And I'm not gonna lie, the trash talk that goes on there is part of the reason that what makes the environment a unique environment when it comes to hockey. And the fights, you have the guys slamming into the wall, you got the guys throwing gloves off. Obviously, they don't use the sticks or anything like that. That's illegal. But they let them settle their business. And at the end of the day, you're getting quality entertainment for